My son Johnny had a fully packed suitcase by his door. Hey, I asked him, you want to unpack that? Put the clothes in your dresser so I can put the suitcase up in the closet with everybody else's? No, I'm good, he said. He was 16. A year later, he was 17, and the case was still right there, unmoved. You want a hand unpacking that? I could help. I'm all right, he said, as though I had asked him how he was feeling, as opposed to asking him about his abandoned suitcase still by his door. At 18 years old, I thought I'd try one more time. It had been 2 full years, and the suitcase had not moved an inch. About your suitcase, I'll take care of it right after dinner, he said. And after we ate dinner, Johnny unpacked the suitcase and brought it to me and said, I'm good, I don't need it anymore. And I said, are you sure? Because I don't want you to, rush into anything. Well, that was 3 years ago, and that was the year that Jonathan, his sister Madison, my wife Lisa, and I all decided that we could adopt one another. Johnny and Madison had moved into our Altadena house after the pandemic lockdown had been going for 5 weeks, just up the street on Santa Rosa, 1 block away from the library. But Johnny's suitcase, it gnawed at me. I felt like it was my job as a new foster parent to convince him to unpack it, to relax, to settle in. I wanted him to know that we were looking out for him now, that we were protecting him, that he didn't have to go anywhere. I think the night of the Altadena fires, a lot of us had an instinctual urge to protect, to lead the way for our loved ones, our families, and in my case, our kids. But I learned a much bigger lesson the night of that fire. My wife Lisa and I had bought our house on Santa Rosa Avenue from an organization in Altadena that was called 5 Acres. Now this is yeah, we got some yes. Yeah, definitely. This is a foster agency that's got a headquarters over on Mountain View that did not burn, thankfully. And it's a big school campus. But for many years, they also had these 3 satellite houses that were group homes, a place where kids would go, older kids who maybe were not going to be adopted, and they'd get some experience learning how to live in a house, right? Practice some laundry, some cooking, some cleaning, a little bit of finance, before they were eventually emancipated out into the world at the age of 18 and left the foster system. This sounded horrible to me. To be turned out with nothing but what you can carry at 18? Like if I was let loose with a suitcase and a pat on the back at that age, I would make it about a week before I completely folded. And so as we were trying to figure out how to buy this group home from 5 Acres, my wife and I decided that we would send a letter along with a pledge. If you sell us this house, we will do 3 things. 1, we'll fix the house back up. It needed some work. 2, we will eventually adopt some kids from 5 Acres. And 3, at some point, we will give them this house so that it stays with 5 Acres. They can live in it forever. Hear, hear. So forever home, by the way, is the parlance of foster care, right? It's the place kids get to that are in the system mentally where they go, I know there's not another foster family ahead. It's the place where they stop wondering when they will have to leave. This is it. Forever home. To be truthful, it took us a while. The place needed a lot of love and even more repairs. 15 years of repairs to be exact. The house was in a bit of a state, but it was a cool house designed by the guys who built the Chinese theater and the Egyptian theater in Hollywood. So neat, but a lot of work. We didn't forget our promise exactly, but we were getting up there in age, and we kind of thought we'd missed our window to adopt. Then we went to a dinner party at our friends Matt and Melinda's over on Holliston, a Halloween party, so the anniversary of this auspicious occasion is coming back up any minute now. And at a goth zombie banquet table, I was seated directly next to Chanel, the woman who runs the 5 Acres foster agency. I freaked out. I told her, we have a connection. Like, We bought our house from you, and we plan to adopt kids from you. We plan to give those kids the house. Have you been to your training yet? She asked. There's training? Oh, training, yes. No, I think we're a little too old for training. Come to my office on Monday. We went to her office on Monday, and then a month later we started training, and a month after that we realized we still had a lane. Even though we were old, we were going to be respite parents. Now, these are the people who step in and watch foster kids while their actual foster parents need respite, a break for something like, surgery, or if they have a funeral out of the state and the kids can't leave the state legally, we step in like substitute teacher parents. That was what we were going to do when we finished our training. But we never finished our training. The training stopped, though, as did everything, when the pandemic hit. So with no foster stuff to do, Liesl and I, we rediscovered things like romantic dinners at home together, reading books at home together, working in the garden at home together. The pandemic was cute for about 2 weeks, and then we were totally bored. We needed something to mix it up, spice things up, and then the phone rang. And 48 hours later, we had 2 kids move in, and we spent the next 2 years of the pandemic not bored with Johnny and Madison. And it got even better, because though we didn't know it, there were more. We met their older brother, Guillermo, who was still in an extended foster care at the time. We met middle brother, Damien, living with his dad and his stepmom. There was older sister, Vanessa. She has her own kids, lives with her boyfriend. Older brother, Roger, he's got kids. There are also 2 younger siblings we didn't know about. We're not sure where they are, but they're with their dad. Seems to be okay. 8 total siblings. Wow. Yeah, so this instant family had completed steps 1 and 2 of our master plan. 1, fix up the house. 2, adopt kids from 5 acres. But step 3 was about to get a massive curveball. Because the night of January 7th, the Eaton fire sparked to life. Liesl was monitoring the reports of the east side of Altadena being evacuated, and she calmly told everyone, pack a go bag. We're just going to wait and see if we ever get the order to evacuate. Now, the order to evacuate did not come to our side of town that night, but we decided to follow the other side of town and get out of Dodge early. Liesl took the kids. She took our neighbor Wilda, who had come for dinner and wound up stuck with us for 6 weeks after that. Yeah. We took our cat Baxter, who was on his last legs, literally, sadly. They all drove across town to the other side of Altadena, where older brother Guillermo's dorm apartment had just been evacuated. They got him, they got out. I stayed behind to get a few things together, and turn off the gas, prep our house for the eventual return, because of course we always eventually return when we're evacuated, But I promised Liesl that I would leave if the moment came. The moment came. Quick. I watched that fire jump across Altadena at light speed, and I knew what was coming for our house. So, while I was hurriedly deciding what I could and couldn't grab of our family's cherished stuff, I came across a pre-packed suitcase. Not Johnny's. His was unpacked by now. A different one that was in our bedroom and had been there for years. Liesl had packed it during the last evacuation for a fire, and it had all of our family photos from childhood up to kind of present day. She had taken videotapes of our whole house, what was in each closet, what was in the drawers. Oh, I know, right? It was something that we took with us during that last fire evacuation. We didn't open it. We brought it back home. We didn't open it. We just left it sitting there, waiting for some other time when we might need it. It immediately made me reconsider Johnny's suitcase, what that suitcase meant. And here's the big thing I learned that night. It wasn't lazy. It was preparedness. It was having a little bit of the life you already know waiting in case you need it later, in case your world unexpectedly changes in a nanosecond, like it often does for foster kids. It's to make sure that if you have to leave your life behind, you don't have to leave it all behind. Now, I am angry at this fire for many reasons, but I appreciate it for at least one. And that is letting me understand something that my foster kids know intimately: how to go quickly. I took the pack case from our bedroom with all the photos where it had been waiting. I looked around and said goodbye to everything else. And I got out before the fire circled in. I had wanted to teach my kids something. I'd wanted to lead them. But it turns out they taught me something. They led me that night. They protected me. So now I owe them step 3. I got to rebuild a forever home for those kids. And I will.